fire, darling. Your man just hit the bar to grab a chalice for you too. He turned his back just for a second.
Chris, what up, yo?
What you do? Supersonic signal. But I tell you, independent woman, I won't tell you how to act.
I can't find it, John. Alright, so look, I'm about to be kicking it. Harlem Rob, what up, man? I missed you the other day, Harlem Rob. My bad, we gotta make it up. And I gotta get my man Low Tide in the studio with obviously Ant too. Why is my flyer not popping up where I need it to be? This is crazy. Everybody wanna know who made your date time. What that depends on, whatever the date is. Got me a European poppy out in Italy. And he like the model, but he always let a hold on, I might have to come back in 2 seconds. And a peek from the back just to give him my tease. I keep a man in Texas, that's where the who I love a thug, keep it hood. Hold on. Alright, let's go on back. What up, y'all? What up, y'all? Kayla Ashley, I'm glad you're here. Hopefully you can connect with this the dope guy I'm about to interview. He goes by the name of Ivan Barias. Okay? Oh, you know what? Let me pin that. No doubt, no doubt. So look, I need all y'all to go ahead and follow this good brother. Alright, we're gonna get there. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? But I can see you like to play with fire, darling. Your man just hit the bar to grab a chalice for you too. He turned his back just for a second. Look at what you do. Sending me the supersonic signal. You ain't lay a finger, but I tell you, independent woman, I won't tell you how to act. You and I both know we could be gone before he gets back. You got a plan, but you're messing around. Give me a second, we getting there. Hold on. I got situations, no confirmation. Everybody wanna know who made your date team. B, what up, girl? Got me a European poppy out in Italy. And he like the model, but he always let a picture me. Jordan, what's up? Cool, and what up? Yo, it's a whole lot of people outside. Dizzy, what's good? Teddy, what's good? So y'all know what I'm trying to do, man. I'm just, switching it up a little bit. Everybody ain't got to be out the trap world that I sit and interview and talk to, so, Oh, here we go. Hold on, I'm about to add you out. Here we go. Here we go. My bad. I feel old. Appreciate it, B. Yo.
What's up, bro?
What up, man? How you?
I'm good. I can't complain, man. Doing like what everybody out here is doing. Lockdown.
Lockdown, man. Staying corona free.
Staying corona free, bro. You know what I mean? It's nothing nice out here, and it's a hell of a 2020. I gotta say that, right? I didn't even think that we would be where we at right now, coming into the spring. But you know, like right now, we all gotta just ride it out, do a part, you know, so that we don't have a short summer. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Look, I want to welcome everybody that's stepping in the room right now, man. I'm sitting with a dope songwriter, producer, Grammy nominated amongst many more accolades. I need y'all to go follow guy Ivan Barias. First of all, I want to say, me as a student of the game, just of the music industry as a whole, I just appreciate you sitting down with me. You know what I mean? It's always good to soak up knowledge from the vets, from the OGs, however we can, you know. So I just appreciate you taking your time out, man.
Well, I appreciate you for having me, man. I mean, you do a lot for the culture. You put on for the movement, and I see how you support a lot of artists, a lot of creatives. You've shown support. I mean, you're playing it in the background. You've shown love.
Look,
So,
man, look, I show all the love I can. Like, if anything ever pops up on my timeline, you know, for me, regardless of the relationship I have with the person, whether I only met them once or twice, or if I don't know, if it's someone on my timeline I'm following, it's for a reason. So, you know, my biggest way of just building a relationship has always just been to just show support, genuine support. You know, I ain't asking nobody for nothing. You know, just, hey, show some love, however I can help, cool. You know what I mean? Not nothing else. Hey, man, I know we in good company. I know we're in a good space where though I come across people, we all good. It's going to be all love, you know? Shout out to my guy Mike McArthur who connected us.
shout out to Mike Mack.
Yeah,
OG.
Mike. Mike.
Shout out to J Hips, Mama's Boys.
Uh-huh. The whole squad, you know, so it's just definitely a good thing. And coming up, me being yes, he's one of the he's the producer of Messing Around, for those who don't know. The record with Phony People and Megan Thee Stallion, which is a fire record. And I won't lie, I wouldn't have known about the record if it wasn't for you. I wasn't. Yeah, when you posted it, I was like, oh, what's this? And I'm like, damn, this record is fire. Like, it's a great vibe. So just, let's get into that record real quick. Tell me about it.
I mean, first of all, the record, Messing Around, for those of you that are listening to the clean version, and that's the PG version. There's another version that's not so PG. But the band Phony People is a band that I've been working with. For those that don't know, they're a super amazing, talented, five-person band out of Brooklyn. You have vocalist, which LB3, drummer Matthew Bias, guitar player Elijah Rock, bass player Barry Bates, and keyboard player Asia Grant. And they're super dope, man. They're like a hybrid of like hip hop, soul, funk, R&B, and they're mad energetic. So we know the OG Kevin Lyles, you know, shout out to Kevin Lyles, who was the president and CEO of 300 Records, reached out to Mike Mack about us going in and collaborating. And a little bit over a year ago, they came to Philly, and we started that record right there. And we've been to like mad cities, trying, you know, like working on this album. Started in Philly, went to LA, several different spots in New York, going back and forth between their home studios in Brooklyn and them coming here. And we've got some really amazing music, but that record was done last year. And once we got into a place that was like, yo, this is going to be a hot joint. The head of A&R at 300, Salim, was like, you know what? You know who I hear on this? I hear Meg Thee Stallion on it. Shout out to Salim. He went and got Meg, and Meg heard it and was like, yes, I love it. I'm going to do it, and did it. And I think that I got to say, this might be the first record that Meg Thee Stallion is actually singing on.
Yeah.
Little melodies and stuff.
It was,
Meg, you know, shout out to R&B Meg.
It was one of her most different verses I heard. Like, far as like the style and the way she was rapping, to hear her do like a little melodic thing, I was just like, yo, she fit right into the record. And when you initially look at the group, you wouldn't think Meg would fit with it. But Meg slid right in on that joint, did her thing, and y'all came out with a great record. Great
And,
record.
and the kind of fate will have it that that's really like a summer anthem,
It is.
And here we are in the house when it's warm out, So
But I felt like it was just about to. I think it's still going to build. I saw it hit Billboard R&B chart, so I think it's still going. What kind of challenges you foresee with this stuff? Like, just the fact that a record like this was about to take off, and then this happens. So now we got to relaunch this.
Well, I'm not trying to be selfish because I think this, there's other people dealing with bigger stuff than what we're dealing with the record.
That's
so
true.
I don't even want to imply like this is a down moment, but overall for everybody in the industry, this has been a hurt piece because I think what people don't understand is part of the music economy and how artists make money is touring. So a lot of times you don't know about a record until you see an artist perform, you see them at a festival, and you're like, yo, I didn't even know about this group right here. They're dope. Let me go check out their catalog. And you're exposed to them and you become a fan of the artist. So with them, it was just like right when they were about to start hitting the road and promoting the record, it coincides with the whole, we got a lockdown in place and, we can be at gatherings and events with more than a certain amount of people, et cetera, et cetera. So now they're having to promote this like a lot of the other artists, through social media. So they have this thing called Fucking Around Fridays that they get on every Friday, and they perform live and they invite other artists on, and they just did a live on 300's YouTube page the other day, and they performed it. So, and then the record is still climbing. Thankfully, radio is still showing up, and the record just hit the top 10 at Urban this past week.
Dope.
Just got to keep plugging away, and hopefully the streams can keep going up, and people can still keep discovering the record.
Yeah, it's such a feel-good record. It's such a feel-good record, man. When I first heard it, I was just like, man, this record feels great. Oh, man. So how'd you get started in the music game? I know you're a vet, so I looked at the catalog. It's so extensive and so many people, legendary. Jill Scott, Music Soul Child, Estelle. How did you get started in this music game?
Well, I started like everybody else. I wanted to be a rapper.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, so I started rapping, and I was having a hard time getting tracks with some of the guys who used to produce. So I just said, whatever, man, I'm going to start making my own tracks. So I started, I was weak. I was whack. I had this Casio keyboard. I had a sampler, and it was like mad keys missing, and I'm like reaching in on a rubber circuit trying to like loop up stuff. And I started getting decent at it, and then decent turned into good, and good turned into dope. And then the same guys who I used to try to get tracks from started asking me for tracks. So I said, okay, maybe I can self-produce. I was still being selfish. I'm trying to make beats for myself. And a friend of mine, Darren Henson, who I knew was friends with DJ Jazzy Jeff, and him and I were really tight, and we were roommates. We were like, yo, we should go up to Jeff, and since that's your homie, we should go up there, play some music, see what he think. And then we came up one night and played Jeff some DJ Jazzy Jeff, for those that don't know, from the famous, legendary Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Philadelphia music legend. And we came up to his studio, and he was like, yo, that's dope. And that was like the first time somebody in the industry with accolades had heard my music and said,
that's dope.
Yo, this is hot, And then he invited us to come to the studio, and I will come on a regular, and I was there. That's where I learned how to work on my craft, and I try to develop my sound, and that's where I met Jill Scott, Music Soul Child, with Carvin Higgins, and I worked on a lot of those early music records that became, the records that launched them, like, Just Friends, and then after that we started our own production entity, Carvin and Ivan, under the management of Michael McCarthy and Jerome Hips. And
okay.
That's what we produce, executive produce, his second album, which has Half Crazy and Don't Change and a few other singles that people know. And then we were involved with all of the other singles that he was known for. And that was pretty much like the chronology of like how I got started in the game. It was trying to be a rapper that can't get beats, rapper that starts making their own beats, rapper that starts making their own beats, get good. Now other people want his beats, and he says, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't rap no more. Maybe I should be a producer." And that's kind of the short version of how I got here.
Gotcha. And then you just got in the room with Jazzy Jeff, and after that, it was just like, man, hey, I think I'm on to something.
Yeah, man, it was like Touch of Jazz was like a school. You know, that was the first time I was really exposed to people playing instruments. And I'm from the hip hop culture. You know, everything that that I liked had samples and it was hard drums. And it's my first time getting into a studio where I'm seeing people playing live bass and guitar and keys and horn players, and it sounds like those records that I used to want to sample. And I'm like, okay, this is dope. I want to learn how to do this. And
Okay.
from that, it turned into me really learning and studying the music. And to this day, I'm still a student. I'm still learning, and that's what has allowed me to keep the longevity that I have. Is I'm always trying to learn something new every day.
That was definitely going to be my next question of how you looking at like a 20-year span right now. What's the key to the longevity? You got a record right now that's charting heavy. You had classics, with Music Soul Child and Jill Scott and all these legendary artists in the game. What's the key to longevity?
Embracing the new energy. I've never been the type of person, not even producer, just person that hangs on to, look what I've done, and I've done something years ago, and this is supposed to open all these doors for me. I always believe in, making new things, right? But the most important thing is embracing that new energy. There's so many young, dope artists, producers, songwriters, engineers, managers, A&Rs that are constantly coming in the game, and they have a certain energy. And I always try to make sure everybody feels like, they feel the magic of building something together, and not like, oh, I'm the OG and I've done this and you're here, so you gotta listen to me. I'm always doing it in a way where it's all about the song, right? So if I gotta humble myself and just to try to get some great music done, and I know we're gonna get a song together that's gonna change the game, and it requires me to settle down and not be a cocky, arrogant dude, that's what I will do, and that's what I noticed that just doing it that way, it allowed me to just keep working with people and working with people and working with people. And then you look back and you see how much time has passed, and I'm like, well, still here doing it.
Still here doing it. What's the difference in working with like a older artist, a Music Soul Child, for example, versus a new artist like a group like Phony People, where it's a bunch of different components? What's the difference? Like, what's the balance there?
Well, with music, we were doing a lot of stuff. We were all young together. So,
okay,
where the difference between, I would say, a music and these guys is that when you have a band and one person is the vocalist, that person is the mouthpiece for the entire band. So that you have to make sure that whatever they're talking about, whether singing or rapping, totally aligns with how everybody in the band feels, right? Whereas music, it was just like, yo, this is him. So whatever he says, this is him having to defend what he's singing about.
Okay.
When you work with a group like that, it's kind of like, it's different energies from everybody. Everybody's got their own thing, so you got to kind of help them live up to the best of their abilities, and also pull the artistry out of them and allow them to be the best artists they can be, while respecting everybody's views and within the group. But when it comes to a new and an older thing, without naming any names, sometimes with older artists, because it's not their fault. The game has changed tremendously, and it keeps changing. Like every 3, 4, 6 months, it's almost like a new industry. So when you come from an era where the labels were so integral in your record making approach, it's so easy to to kind of create music and feel like I'm an artist. I don't do this. The
Mm-hmm.
younger artists now realize like they have to act like labels. So they have great
Mm-hmm.
marketing strategies and approaches, even with how to interact on social media. Where sometimes the older artists, who not saying they aren't talented, sometimes they don't get that technology has created a new way for you to reach your audience, and they're slow to adapt at times. And that's where you see the differences.
I was, what's crazy? I was shocked to find out. Of course, I know you probably tuned in last week, like most of us did, to the Teddy Riley Babyface. I was shocked to see that neither one of their followers were crazy before the battle, and they
Crazy.
both their followers went up amazing. And it's a great thing. When I'm just so shocked because they're legends, so I would automatically believe that their followers would already be in the high millions. Even D Nice, D Nice was below a million before this started, and now he's up in the 2 million. It's kind of like, oh, but I got to realize that the older, and even when you hear it, they still have some good placements. They still have
Yeah.
made some dope music, but it's just that they're not putting it out there through social media. That's not their thing.
And you know what? I think it's also they look at it. They have different value systems too, right? I think sometimes you got a younger artist. They look at social media as it's a necessity. You have to be able to engage your fans because, like, you don't have the platform of a more established artist where you can put a record out and now you have the machine behind you that can get that record out. You got to do it from the muscle. Like you're in the streets, so
Hmm.
that's your megaphone. So being able to be on social media, um, advocating for yourself, it's an asset. Where a lot of those guys, they were like, yeah, I put the record out and I hire a team and they come in and they market it for me. And now
Mm.
they're starting to see with us being locked down and being forced to do what we're trying to do right now. They're starting to see uh, that social media is a tool that you got to use.
Gotta use it. It's integral right now. You gotta think. Nobody's able to even be inside the radio station. Most people doing their shows from home and piecing them together. So it's like you still gotta find a way to reach the ears of the people. You still gotta find a way to make it happen. So it's been a it's been a challenge for a lot of us. A lot of us doing interviews via social media. We got the Zoom thing popping off real crazy. You got artists. I watched the Baby do a whole press run through social media. It's it's where we're
Yo,
at right now.
and the thing is, like, you got people now. Remember how it used to be like, oh, pirate radio.
Uh huh.
I got my own internet radio station, pirate radio. Now it's
Uh
just
huh.
like, no, everybody's a broadcaster now.
Everybody.
Everybody's a record DJ. Everybody's a newscaster because it's like now it's you got to use these tools to tell your stories now.
It that's really what it's become to. I know I started, just starting with the platform. I was on DTLR radio, and that's just an online in the stores. We just have a wide reach and a wide range just because we used to be a record pool as well through Unruly and Sean Caesar. So, we're able to reach more people, but we're the same thing. And it's just like, anybody has aspirations now, you can almost shoot your shot at doing some of that stuff without having to go to traditional routes almost. You can really go ahead and be like, you know what? I can't get a job at this FM radio station, but we can do the online thing.
And you know what? And I think when we emerge from all of this, it's going to be about who was able to reach the people when it mattered, right? And who's gonna emerge with more equity or their equity
Hmm.
intact, right? So whoever emerges with the amount of people that's supportive of the brand is still going to be able to carry on when we go back to normal, whatever the hell normal is going to be, right? And that's why
No, I'm crazy.
I don't think people understand that. It's just like you can't disappear,
You
out of
can't.
mind, out of sight, out of mind. And right now, like if you're not present and doing things, they get to see what you stand for, what your movement is. You're gonna be in trouble.
Big trouble. Big trouble. Um, this might be an unfair question to ask you. I'm looking at the list, right, of everybody you've worked with. far as artists, who's been your favorite artist to work with? I mean, I'm looking at this list. I'm seeing everybody from Jasmine Sullivan, Keisha Cole, Justin Timberlake, Ross, Tupac. Who's been kind of like your favorite?
Man, you trying to put me in trouble? You trying to set me up here? All the artists that I work with are my homies, man. You know.
Gotcha. I can dig it. I can dig it.
I have a lot of personal favorites. You know, I would say though that working with Faith Evans, she's definitely a trip in the studio. And the thing about her that's kind of like blows my mind away is when she goes into the studio and does vocal doubles. It's almost like you're a DJ, right? You know how sometimes you play a record and you play them both at the same time and you're flanging and flamming and phasing. Her vocals are so tight. You're like, okay, I got to move this a little bit because it's so tight. It's a mirror of each other. And she's that dope of an executioner. But I love everybody that I work with. I'm not going to tell you who are the people that I didn't like, but currently, currently I'm really enjoying working with the group of artists that I'm currently invested in. I definitely love working with my guys, Phony People. This dude's super cool, fun, got mad energy. There's an artist from Australia that I'm working with named Mac.
Okay.
He's super dope, amazing singer-songwriter. Working with Brave
Williams. Brave is from Baltimore. Brave is from we love Brave, man. Brave gets a lot of love from us.
Yeah, man, Brave is super dope. So currently I've been doing a lot of stuff with them on their projects. And yeah, man, you trying to set me up, bro.
Nah, not at all. I mean, you got Mario in there as well. You know, that's one of our good Baltimore people. What was the first time? What was your reaction the first time you got the Grammy nomination?
You know what, man?
What was the record?
The first record was "Teach Me" by Music Soul Child.
Okay.
And the difference is, like, I think the other times when we got nominated, it was like if the record had won, we would have gotten a statue. We would have gotten certificates. But that one time when we were nominated, we were nominated. Not only did we produce the song, but we were nominated as songwriters. So had it won, we get to go on stage and accept the award and all of that. So that first time and seeing your name listed and people calling you and saying, "Yo, congrats!" and you go to the show and you get your medal and you see your name on the big screen and they read your name. I mean, it's definitely exciting, even though I've been part of other like Grammy nominated records. At that time, it was just like, wow, this is really special. And then we lost to Prince, and I was like, man, this is
y'all lost to Prince?
We lost to Prince one year, and we lost to Alicia Keys on another year, and I forgot who we lost to on one of those other Grammy nominations for like best R&B song. But even on the album, on some of the albums that I produced that have been nominated for like best R&B album, we lost to some other heavyweights, like Beyonce and stuff like that.
I see you got 19 overall. Like, I see you have a close relationship with that Grammy board. Can you speak to that a little bit?
So I'm currently on the board of trustees at the Recording Academy. So that's the body that's the national body that basically helps guide works with the CEO to guide the academy. So I started as a governor on the board here in Philly, and then I became chapter president. I was president for 3 years, and then I ran for trustee, and I'm at the end of my second 2-year term, and we're able to work closely in different committees and help implement some change that allow the academy to move forward and be relevant. Like I was part of the committee that helped introduce streaming and digital only releases to qualify for Grammy nominations and to be able to become a member.
Hey, salute to you. That was neat.
Thank you, man. I also wrote a proposal to create a new category called Urban Contemporary, which is that first year we created a Frank Ocean one. You've had people like Beyonce and Rihanna and other people like that win it the following years. I think this year Lizzo may have won it. So, and you get to, like you get to be a part of the voice that internally to help change things and guide things and put them where they need to be.
And I feel like that was one of the biggest things that kind of intrigued me to talk to you, because I'm showing down a timeline and I see you're involved with that, and I just was like, man, how can I have a conversation with this guy? And I always plan to reach out to Mike or yourself directly and just ask, like, how can I just have a conversation just to learn more about it. Like I said, I'm a student of the game, so I'm just wanting to just a sponge. I want a quest for knowledge. Almost like The Last Dragon. Bruce Leroy was just on a quest for knowledge, and that's me just trying to learn as much as I can. See where I can fit in, see where else I can help. Bridge that gap with new and old school, because I'm not super young, I'm not older, but I'm one of the newer guys in the game. So I understand where the young and the old sometimes. And like I definitely want to learn more about just how the whole Grammy committee, how everything works. How do you even get involved? Because every year, as people getting mad about being snubbed and all that. And I'm just like, how do they actually go about that whole process?
Well, a year ago the process changed, but before that, it was pretty simple to join. You needed a certain amount of credits.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a certain amount of credits in whatever category you were joining under, say as a producer, a songwriter, musician, you pay. You fill out an application, and then you will pay a yearly membership fee. A year and a half ago, they changed that process where now you can join once. It's only the opening period opens, the joining period opens up once a year, and then what you do is you have to get 2 recommendations from people who are in the music industry. And once you get your 2 recommendations, you fill out the process, you fill out the application, go through the process, and there's a peer review panel that reviews your application to make sure you're a qualified member of the community. If you want to be a voting member, we're instituting strict guidelines, because that's one of the things that people complain about. It's like, who voted for this? How did this win?
Yeah, all the time.
And part of it is we want to make sure that the voters are qualified. How
Definitely.
do you do that? You got to make sure you have career substantiation, and that what you said you worked on, you actually worked. Who you said you actually are. So those things exist to make sure that whoever's going to vote on the Grammy, it's not somebody that's used to be a musician back in the 70s and now they're a dentist in Arizona and haven't made a record in 35 years. Here they are voting for best rap album. They're voting for best rap album, and you're like, how did that happen?
Look, it makes a whole lot of sense now that you break it down like that. I definitely always wondered, like, how is that? Like, what is that process? I know I see the Grammy recording. Recording Academy, they have different districts. So I come across a few people here and there, and I never fully get to have a chance to talk to somebody that was as close to the board as yourself. So I appreciate and I thank you for just talking to me and being informative about the process and what goes on with the Grammy committee.
And you know what? Just to be clear too, though, man, like, there's so many different things the organization does. It's just not the awards. I always tell people that, because it's
I see them a lot.
Yeah, they always see, the Grammys. They only think about the Grammys 2 times a year. That's when the nominations come out, and you get mad because people that you were hoping got a nomination didn't get one. So you get mad, and everybody just talks about it on social media. Then we forget about it until a month and a half later when the show comes on, and then whoever wins, you're mad about that person winning because you thought somebody else should have won. And then you have all this you got all this real estate on the calendar that nobody even hears about or knows what the organization does. And it's like, oh yeah, whatever. And then they don't get the gist of you have all of these people that donate their time and serve on boards, serve on committees. Like, I'm really passionate about Music Cares, right? Music Cares raises money yearly to give to musicians in need. Like, whenever there's like a hurricane, like Hurricane Sandy, or, you know, tornadoes in Nashville, they go to those communities and help people replace their instruments. And if you're a musician and you become ill and you don't have health insurance, they come in and they help. You know, they do a lot of different things from a charitable standpoint as far as being philanthropic, and people don't know about that. We also advocate for the rights of creators. Like, I've been to Capitol Hill lobbying to get legislation passed on behalf of all music creators. And a couple years ago, the Fair Play, Fair Pay Act became the law of the land. So now we're going to start seeing musicians, all creators, start getting paid a proper, they're going to be fairly compensated for their work. Then also, you know, one last thing I do is I co-chair the Producers and Engineers Committee, which is the national committee inside of the academy that supports producers and engineers and all things specific to them, you know. And we're always trying to lobby a lot of the manufacturers and labels and streaming services to do things to make sure that we have the best practices in place to make sure that everybody's recording properly and doing all these things. And this year, every year we honor a person during Grammy Week. This year we honor Dr. Dre during Grammy Week.
Oh, really, yeah, I did see that, yeah. Man, shout out to all the songwriters, producers, everybody that's involved. A lot of them just popped in this room today. King Midas, who's in here somewhere. My guy, like, he's super, super talented. He's a real loud. He's just a great talent. I'm doing some work with King Midas now as we speak. DJ, a guy named Miklo, dope producer. My guy DJ Razor's in here. He's gonna put some music out one of these days. So it's a lot of dope producers and writers, and you know, I'm glad to see some people stepped in here and able to soak some game up from you. You know, just an OG and a vet that really knows, you know, both sides of it. They understand it and fighting and doing what's right. You know, the Fair Pay, Fair Play Act, that sounds incredible. Because I always hear about people crying about, and I don't want to say crying. Crying is the wrong word. I always hear people saying they weren't fairly compensated.
And you know what? It's not going to be an overnight thing. I think it requires a lot more finessing of the law. People still calling their congressmen. One thing that I learned, bro, I'm gonna tell you this. One thing I learned from being a part of the Recording Academy is I didn't know how much influence people actually had to organize. Well, I mean, when they organize and they lobby their own members of Congress. One thing we do, we have this thing called Grammys in my district, or now it's called District Advocate Day, where we all bring in our local representative from the House from the House of Congress, and we tell them, like, look, we are taxpayers. We're in your district. These laws are not fair. You got to change this. And you write letters, and you hit them on Twitter, and you hit them on Facebook, and little by little they start seeing, like, oh, my colleague is hearing this in D.C. My colleague is hearing this in Iowa. My colleague is hearing this in Texas. My colleague is hearing this all the way in Boston. And they start hearing how, from a grassroots standpoint, all these people are organizing, and they take notice. So that's something that I learned just as us as citizens, that we don't do enough, right? Like, even things that have nothing to do with music. It showed me, like, you got to organize and pull up and talk to them and say, hey, listen, man, I got to talk to you. You know?
Look, sometimes it's more than just saying something on Instagram or Facebook. Sometimes you got to take real action.
Yeah, man, and I think everybody has to do their part. And I think right now we're learning the lesson, having to be, you know, shut down and be socially distant. You're learning how to play your part for the greater good. I think hopefully when we come out, that's a lesson that we've gotten from this, and everybody can work together a little bit better and do their part to make sure that, as far as the music industry ecosystem, that we do what we do to preserve it. Because this is the thing that's going to keep getting us paid and keep taking care of us and keep letting the young generation come in and create amazing music that's going to outlast the rest of us. So you got to protect it, and you can't come in and just take and not give. So I'm hoping that that's something that everybody gets out of this.
You have to give. You have to give. Take is not good for anybody after a while, because you get a lot of enemies when all you do is take, and you don't give anything back. You got to do your part. Got to do your part. I want to say I appreciate you for sitting down with me. I thank Mike McAuliffe that you're still in here. I appreciate you for setting this up, my brother. I didn't think he was going to come through. I said it to him while I was doing another live. I said, Mike, man, I want to interview your man. I want to interview you out. What's up? And I don't even think he said anything on the live, but then he just texted me and was like, yo, he's cool with doing it. What's up? I was just like, oh, all right. You know what I mean?
Now, when I met you that time at the opening on 52nd Street of DTLR, it's like, yo, he's a cool dude, man. And then we started following each other, and I definitely appreciate what you do for the culture, Man, I see some of my people. I see some of my peoples in here. Kareem Goodison.
Yeah,
from
I see you.
Canada. Swells, what's up, Swells? Mitch, what's up? My homie DJ Street Orchestra. Also Georgia. Melissa was here earlier. I saw her.
Yeah, you had some people.
DJ Mark Asbury, what up? Big Ed, what up?
Look, I saw one of your people say, man, look, anybody in here listening, soak up the game, soak up the knowledge, and look, that's what I was doing, man, just soaking up game. Soaking up game, I want to learn to do stuff the right way, and I want longevity, so I'm around just as long as everybody else, full time, and be able to make it better for the next generation as well.
Yeah, man, and you know what? And like I said, one of the things that I learned, and if we about to jump off, I leave people with that. I make sure that what I do, I try to leave the ego out, right? Because I think what has allowed me to do this long is when people say, man, I heard that song you did, man, that song you did got me through this, or I got married to one of your songs, or my son was born in one of your songs. It's always about the song. So I started to notice that there was a common thread there that showed me that I got to do whatever I got to do to get the hell out of the way of the song and let the song become what it's supposed to be. So I challenge everybody I work with to, if something is something I'm not doing, and you say, yo, can you change that? Yeah, I change it like that. I don't fight nobody on things, because I understand that we're trying to get to a certain place together, and that's to create a great song. And the only way you do that is you got to, make the commitment to be humble in the studio and value everybody's opinion. And you can make great music, man, great magic, and it'll outlast you. Like, I still see some of our old catalog from, a long time ago being played right now.
I bet, especially with this, with the verses going on.
Yeah,
it's taking you to a place where, like, we're really just going back and we're just listening to old, like that period in music is almost like the golden era. I say from, I was at the late 80s to the mid 90s. Like it was a
golden era hip hop raised me.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just, and now going back and listening to it, I'm sure, and I was talking to somebody the other day, I was just saying, man, I hope a lot of those guys are getting the credit or getting compensated, because I know the streaming came in and, changed a lot, and a lot of those guys are not really as active anymore, but I hope they're getting their just doing their fair share, because a lot of us are going back and listening to I know I immediately after D-Nice, that first Saturday night, that next day I went and I played the whole playlist on Tidal. I mean, I just went straight through the whole playlist on Tidal, and he had everything on there. He had all the vibes. So I was just thinking, I hope a lot of these people are getting their fair share.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like, the one thing that it's been able to do for a lot of those guys is that it makes you rediscover their catalog. Like, you know, like you don't being able to sit back and hear like people's body of work. It's amazing, man. You're like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Like I made a playlist. I made a playlist right after Teddy and Babyface. You know,
Who did you have in that battle?
I had Teddy. I had Teddy, bro.
You had Teddy?
I had Teddy. And you know, Teddy. So here's the thing: Babyface did not play the records he could have played to really shut down Teddy. But Teddy kind of like, I'm trying to say, like, why didn't he play My Prerogative and why you didn't play Remember the Time? You know, like,
I don't know why. Like Teddy, I think Teddy was overthinking it all together. I personally, me, so on my show, right, on DTLR Radio, whenever I'm on air. So DTLR, we know, is a store, but we also stream on apps and all that good stuff. But I personally, whenever I'm on air, I do an old school joint of the day. Like, I don't care what time of the day I'm on, I do an old school joint of the day. Whereas though, look, I'm gonna take y'all back. Even if you didn't hear the song before, and every time I play a song, I'm looking for something that's in that New Jack Swing era. Because that era, to me, that music just felt so. I wish I was old enough to party in that era, because the music just had that bop to it. Like Teddy created his whole genre.
yo, and here's the thing: like, you can kind of, because I see Brittany talking about face. I see you, Brittany. And Ed is saying, why didn't Teddy play this in the morning, right? Well, here's the thing, too. I looked at it differently for various different reasons. I looked at each one of those producers' body of work differently. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Babyface is a master class on songwriting. He's an American heirloom when it comes to songwriting, bro. He is like the R&B Irving Berlin. If y'all don't know, look it up. Irving Berlin is like, they call him the father of American songwriting. Babyface is that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Teddy created bops. You know what I'm saying? Teddy was for the culture. He created cultural moments. He helped bridge the streets to create that new hybrid version of R&B at that time that became R&B now. R&B got attitude because of what Teddy started doing.
That's true.
Babyface is part of the energy of why we rebelled against R&B. You know what I'm saying? Like everything else that I was trying to do when I was coming up was like hip hop, because I think what it was symbolic of, it was kind of like it wasn't the same energy that I gravitated towards being a hip hop fan. And Teddy, you know, I mean, when you think of No Diggity and having Dr. Dre on it and having that hard beat, it was just like, that's the modern R&B that we all ended up evolving towards.
Mm-hmm.
That ended up being the sound. So you can't judge them the same way, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Right.
you can only judge them on like a round by round basis and say he played this song and then he played that song. Which one was the strongest? Because for you to say, well, this is the, you know, he won this battle based on, you know, the catalog. It's just like, who the hell can beat Babyface?
Yeah, it's tough. That both of their catalogs are amazing to me. I was in awe for the future battle. So, you know, it's rumblings right now. Diddy and Dr. Dre. Who you got?
Ah. Oh man, yo, Diddy made more memorable party classics.
Party classic. He did.
But Dr. Dre helped change the game sonically.
So that's where I was leaning more towards Dre. I'm
about to be like Teddy Riley and have my phone die. I got to take it off the stand.
I couldn't. I was so hurt. I was a Bad Boy kid. I grew up on Bad Boy. I was an East Coast guy. I was going with Diddy. But thinking about what Dre did, it's kind of hard to. It's kind of hard that you can't slight him. Like you gotta. He changed a lot with what they brought from that West Coast.
Man. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting battle, because I mean, think about also what Dre gave you later in life. You know, after the NWA thing, he still brought us Eminem,
50
Cent, The Game, Kendrick. You know, he had soundtracks. Like if you start playing joints from the Above the Rim soundtrack, I mean, bro, that
Deep
whole
cover.
soundtrack is somebody's album, you know. But
Yeah,
then
it is.
Diddy had that whole run in the '90s that was like, yo, the Bad Boy era was an era unto itself, bro.
It was. And then just to have between the Biggie, 112, Maze, some of the
Total,
Space stuff,
total.
Total. Oh my, that is it's gonna be it's gonna be some heavy hitters. It's gonna be some heavy hits. It's gonna be a show. I can't wait to see it. I think the culture wins. The culture wins for sure.
Yeah.
But overall, it's a tough one.
But
I can't wait to see it.
here's what it depends on, right? It depends what's the gender makeup of the comments. If it's more women tuning in, Diddy's gonna win because those comments are gonna be flooded. Diddy's gonna play nothing but jams that everybody's gonna relate to. Because Dr. Dre's got some jams too, right? Some bops. Even though he's
Yeah,
got
he
some
do.
hard beats and all of that, but there's still like quote unquote jams that you could play at a cookout, and everybody in the cookout, no matter what age, is gonna be like, it's gonna gravitate towards it, you know. So yeah, man, the culture's gonna win. I can't wait to see that one when it goes down.
I can't wait, man. But I'm not gonna hold you any longer. I appreciate you chopping it up with me for a while. Hey, salute. I'm watching. I'm supporting. Anything you need from me, of course, you got it.
Yeah, and we definitely got to connect in person once we come out of the lockdown, bro.
Look, I'm back in Philly, man. I love Philly. Philly has become like a second home. They keep sending me up there for interviews and in stores. And unfortunately, I did Pop Smoke right before he passed up in Philly. Yeah. I just did G Herbo the beginning of March, right before this happened. So I'm in Philly a lot now. I'm in Philly a whole lot.
We definitely got to connect, man. Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Hey, I appreciate it.
And stay safe out here, man. And
you too, man.
And shout out to everybody in the comments, all my peoples that I see here commenting. And
hey, appreciate all y'all for stopping in. Just sharing some game. And I want to talk to somebody different. I didn't want to keep talking to all the track. Like I said, I'm a student just trying to learn what I can, you know. So I was like, I need to talk to. I want to talk to this guy. So now, bro. I'm on my quest to talk to more.
You and your Oprah.
Yeah, right.
All right, bro. Be safe, bro. Talk to you later.
All right. Yep.